It's been 4 months since our last video. As you all know, the truck has been giving us hell. Well, our nightmare finally happened. The transmission went. But let's not give away all the goods so quickly. Let's back up all the way to October of last year, 2023. We were staying on a disappearing peninsula on the Clark Canyon Reservoir where the sunsets were impeccable and hungry loons held their breath for up to 5 minutes. After a week of gunshots echoing from the surrounding mountains, reminding everyone that elk season was upon us, we marked the location as a favorite and packed up to find a town to re-up on items. We found ourselves in a Butte, Montana Walmart parking lot when a 93 F350 on 40s with a hand-built suspension came driving by. Drooling over one another's custom designs, the rig made a hard right. A guy by the name of Shane hopped out and, well, the rest is history. Buzzing from the overwhelming lists of things in common, Shane invited us to camp at his favorite spot, a promised undisclosed location in Anaconda. We of course obliged, and imagining all the fun to be had, we hit the road. He told us that the weather changes on a dime where we were going, and he did not disappoint. We saw rainy days, clear days, snowy days, complete fog coverage, and even hail. Logan and I also celebrated our 3rd wedding anniversary there. Shane hooked us up with our very first taste of Montana beef. He gifted us a giant ribeye that Logan cooked to perfection, seasoned only with salt and pepper. After an entire week of cooking delicious meals, trading stories around fires, fishing and hiking around a crystal clear lake, and looking out for a tempered mama bear, we finally had to go our separate ways. Our plan was to stay at this free campsite we loved for a bit in order to map out our next adventure. And that's where things got wild. We met an insanely friendly couple from Idaho there named Bill and Cindy Lou. They painted a picture of 10,000-foot mountains surrounding a vast plain where their cabin sat spread out amongst others, where bears and wolves and elk shared an abundant space. And if we were up for it, we had a front row seat, right in their front yard. And so we went. It was on our way back to Montana, on 65-mile-an-hour passes where we could only reach 20, our truck decided it had had enough. In a bit of a panic, we reached out to Logan's college roommate Eric and his wife Megan that lived there in Montana. We told them how we couldn't even get up and go at a stop sign and how our transmission was failing. Limping down back roads in Shepherd, Montana, we pulled down Eric and Megan's rocky drive. And there began day 1 of what we thought was going to be a 4-week process. The silver lining to this situation, you ask? Our new pal Shane from Walmart parking lot mentioned how we should really get a manual swap done on the truck. And deciding to make lemonade out of lemons, that's exactly what we did. Things really started looking up when Logan got word of a highly recommended transmission shop only 7 miles away called Third Pedal. When we showed up to talk to the owner, Jake, he was so impressed with the craftsmanship done on the truck, he offered Logan a job. So Logan went back to work 5 days a week in a truck that Eric so graciously loaned him in hopes of making a tiny dent in a big old bill while we waited patiently for our transmission to be rebuilt at a place called Super Stick back in, you guessed it, Texas. We switched off making dinners throughout each week and sat together as one big family every night. Jokes about being around for Thanksgiving were being made, and before we knew it, we were baking a green bean casserole for an annual neighborhood Friendsgiving. We told them surely we won't be interfering on y'all's Christmas, but the next thing we knew, the tree was up and we were all decorating cookies for Santa. A week later, Logan and I rang in the new year with a wheeler ride that almost cost us our fingertips. At 6 p.m. that evening, while their little girls sat in their tutus, sipping on sparkling apple cider and blowing on noisemakers, we all counted down a previously recorded ball drop we found on YouTube. They warned us the cold was coming. Megan asked me if I'd ever experienced my nose hairs freezing, and all I could think of was a snowman I once built out of ice built up on the curb mixed with gravel and twigs. Bone chilling, it turns out, is a term I've been abusing my whole life. We woke up one morning to -38 with a wind chill of -60. From the door to the floor, the cabin had frost everywhere, constantly. The experience was nothing short of amazing. It was weeks into January now, and with the weather turning came news of our transmission again being delayed. The semi-truck holding our ticket to warmer weather was broken down just 4 hours away in Casper, Wyoming. One can only wonder if we would have made it to February if not for Jake, the owner of Third Pedal, driving out to rescue our precious cargo. And so it was. On January 21st at 7 p.m., exactly 11 weeks later, our big red Dodge came rolling down that rocky drive and up to the family cabin with one ecstatic driver behind the wheel.
All right, we just got her off the lift, giving her a test run real quick. Jake did a fantastic job on it. We're just taking her for a test run to make sure everything works all right, and so far, so good.
48RE swap to a G56 on a 06 Type 9 with a single disc South vent clutch.
You guys ever in the Billings, Montana area? Come on by Shepherd, Montana, right down the street from Billings. Third Pedal. See Jake. He'll get you taken care of.
Find me on Instagram and Facebook under Third Pedal.